You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It's Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. And if you're listening to us on the radio airwaves of 1090, happy to have everybody along in your cars. Traffic's coming back. Get in your car, super easy. Turn on the radio. There we are. For those of you that are YouTube viewers, I think we have a really good idea for our 1090 one-year anniversary, and we'll get to it a little bit later on because our man Craig Dado from the Del Mar Racetrack is going to stop by, and I think we're going to present to him a game plan that we're going to come up with that we've been discussing amongst the three of us off air, so stay tuned for that. Craig Dado coming up in just a couple of minutes. And for those of you that are watching tonight on television, Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, it's Channel 118 Palos Verdes and Orange County, and for those of you that are watching on TV right now, you're going, hey, moron, I know I'm sitting here watching TV. Again, I always am impressed wherever I go. Somebody stops me and goes, I can't believe it, man. I just caught up to the show on TV. How cool. So thanks to everybody who's listening on radio, watching and participating in the conversation on YouTube, watching at night on TV, or maybe listening on audio podcasts. We're happy to have everybody along from the 7 Mile Casino studios. So guys, Grande, Brown Man, you know, I want to talk about the Padres yesterday in Atlanta. And I want to talk about the Dodgers and the Giants, which is now 2-1 in favor of San Francisco in 2 games that have ended in dramatic fashion over the last 2 nights. And Padre fans should be rooting tonight for the Dodgers to even this thing up. But before we talk any baseball, guys, I saw a tweet just the other day. This was after Milwaukee won the NBA Finals. My man Louis Riddick from ESPN, he sent out a tweet and it said this: it's officially football season.
Yeah. And I saw you reply, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I think that you're forgetting that it's not 2017, 18, 15, 14, 13. You know, like the Padres are in this.
Yeah.
And the Padres, like, it is officially like the hunt for the playoff season. That's what it is.
October.
Yeah, the hunt for October.
I know, but isn't it funny though how, like, if you're a football junkie, like I consider myself, Browner, you're a basketball junkie. Alex, we know you're a soccer and now an F1 junkie. Yeah, now that you're an F1 man, you know.
Oh, by the way, Lewis Hamilton, dirty, bro. Dirty what you did to Max on Sunday.
Really? What did
you
do?
Put him in the hospital, dude.
Oh, really?
That's messed up.
That's
the only way you can beat him, putting him in a wall.
You know, one of the things that we should add to our Kaplan and Crew decathlon, one of the things we should add to it is go-kart
K1?
racing. Yeah, K1 go-kart racing. Because Browner, you know how I drive, dog. You know how I get down. You know, I'll put you into the wall, buddy.
Well, you can't kart race with no phone in your hand, dog.
I can't text.
No,
while I'm doing go-karting.
Yeah. No, you gotta keep both of your hands on the wheel, dog.
You'll figure out a way.
Yeah,
voice to text or something. And the guy's like, explain to you how the brakes work. You're like, don't need them.
Don't need them.
Don't need them.
Hard turn.
There'll be no braking at all. I should call my people up at K1 Speed in Carlsbad and get that going, put that on the decathlon. So
I was just about to ask, what is that? I don't even know how or where they have those places.
So
there's one in downtown.
In downtown San Diego?
Yeah.
Really?
Near unless they moved it, there's definitely one over by Barrio Logan.
I swear to you, is it K1?
Yeah.
I have no exposure at all to K1 Speed in downtown San Diego. I know the one in Carlsbad, and I think there might be another one. You'd have to check me on this. I think there's one in Orange County, I think. But what it is, Browner, is you go into this place in Carlsbad, K1 Speed, and I'm giving them a lot of plugs right now. But what it is it's like a go-kart, but on an indoor track, and it's all set up with, you know, all these winding roads in this track, and it's dude, it's fun, it's fast, and
I've never been.
Oh, dude, first of all, I don't even know if you could fit in the car.
Problem number one.
Yeah, that's why I feel confident that I could win, because you may not even be able to get in the car.
Yeah, there's one in it's still there. The one in down. It's in between the Coronado Freeway and Petco, like off Harbor.
Gosh, I got to say, I've never known.
You know all those warehouses back there by the train stations and stuff?
Yeah.
It's back there.
I usually don't populate those places. There's too many homeless people.
You mean down by that part of San Diego?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you can't really be.
Well, I mean, dude, you go to a Padre game. I always take the 5 South and I get off at Imperial, dude. And when you turn right, this is off the freeway. There's like this building that used to be a gym. I had no idea why there was a gym in this place. One of those CrossFit gyms. Once you turn right, that's kind of over by Father Joe's Village.
Yeah.
Shout out to Father Joe, rest in peace. That whole area is just littered with, unfortunately and sadly, homeless folks who, by the way, for all the talk about, Kevin Faulconer as the former mayor and trying to work on the San Diego homeless problem, let me tell you something. It's only gotten worse, and I mean way worse. And I say it like that as in there's just more sad, and I say it, it's just a very sad situation. And I never understood who the genius was that thought that one of those skydiving places, like, they have that one in Mission Valley.
Yeah.
In Mission Valley, it stands to reason a little, but who's
Right.
the genius that thought putting one of those places in downtown San Diego was going to work? What, you thought because Padres and Petco Park was right nearby that the skydive place would work? That was the dumbest and worst location of all time.
I don't even get why people find that fun or fascinating. Like, you go in there, it's like 3 minutes tops, and then you get out. Like, what? You can't even drink.
I'll tell you what I think people think. This is what I think other people think. You ever see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No.
Yes.
Well, I know there's too many white people in the movie for you to watch it, but when Willy Wonka has this one place where Charlie,
I've seen The Wiz.
I've seen The Wiz too. I love The Wiz.
Great movie.
Not only is it a great movie, it was a great play. When David Alan Grier was the star and they played at the La Jolla Playhouse, that was a great play. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Dag?
Yeah, David Alan Grier. That's right. But
Nice.
when Charlie and his grandfather drink something that they weren't supposed to drink, and then they're floating up in this tube, and then they got to burp their way down to get down. I think people all saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka, whatever. They went, that looks fun. And then somebody decided to build one of these like indoor parachuting places. And whoever put it in downtown San Diego, moron. Okay.
Well, there's one in Mission Valley now, and I don't even know. Is that still open? I mean,
Yes.
I see it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know.
I've been to that one before.
Yeah.
Have you done
Just
it?
Go.
No, I went there. I was shooting a video.
Oh,
just go skydiving.
Yeah, right.
Jump out of a plane.
Yeah. Just jump out of a plane. It's
Do it.
much better.
Yeah.
Don't be a chicken.
Okay, listen. So anyway, where were
So
we?
it's football season.
Okay, so right. So Louis Riddick sends out this tweet and he says, "Hey, it's officially football season." And I thought to myself, man, you're right. But Alex, you are right. I mean, because the Padres are in it, and listen, again, we wanted the Dodgers and the Giants to split. It's 2-1 in favor of the Giants at Dodger Stadium, and they're going to play 3 more next week up in San Francisco. Tonight, Padre fans should be rooting for the Dodgers. I know that may be considered San Diego blasphemy, but trust me when I tell you, you want these two teams to split. You don't want either one of these teams getting too far away from the Padres, as the Padres now have 4 in Miami, assuming they get them all played because it rains every day there during the summer.
Well, they have a roof.
And that's good news. That is very good news. Good idea. So anyway, I saw that tweet from Lewis and said, you know what? It is football season. It is football season. And it's football season when the Dallas Cowboys get to training camp first and officially kick off training camp today in Grande's hometown in Oxnard. When you were a kid,
yes.
When I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. The Yankees had a stadium called Little Yankee Stadium, and it was 10 or 15 minutes from my house. And it was actually like 5 minutes up the road from the gas station my dad used to own.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the Yankee players would stop in for gas, and I was a kid, and I would pump their tires or check their oil or whatever. So I would love to go to Little Yankee Stadium during spring training because my favorite players, Bucky Dent, Willie Randolph, Thurman Munson, all these guys, they were there. So I would love to go there. When you were a kid in Oxnard, did you go to Dallas Cowboys training camp?
I went a few times. I think the last time I ended up going, it was that 1 year Eddie George was a running back. And I remember,
it was completely forgotten that Eddie George played for the Cowboys ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can't remember who the quarterback was.
Terrible too.
It wasn't Romo yet.
No,
was
it's
it
got to be
Quincy Carter?
It was like Stanton or
I was thinking Steve Berline.
Ooh,
I don't remember
good guess.
exactly who it was, But I do remember Romo being like the third or fourth string quarterback that year, and him being and someone yelling in the bleachers, "Who's Romo?"
Yeah.
So that was the last time I went there. But not only did the Cowboys gone there since I was a kid, the Raiders used to train there too. And my mom always tells me when she was in high school at Oxnard High School, they would have to share a cafeteria with the Los Angeles Raiders. So she would be eating lunch, and all of a sudden there's like this 300-pound dude eating lunch too, like right next to them in the middle of class. So, yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know who decided that Oxnard was a mecca for football training camps because the weather is awesome. I've been and the Saints went there for a year or two because what's his name? Sean Payton, obviously, with the experience he had with the Cowboys. When the Cowboys went to Texas for their training camp, Sean Payton's like, well, I'm taking the Saints there. So I went for that one too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a big thing for the city. And it was just a random spot where they do it. It's next to a hotel called the River Ridge Hotel, which was where I used to rent rooms and parties in high school. And then now they used to have this big dirt parking lot, and it would be like $5 to park, and then you come in and you just watch them practice. Now I don't really know how it works because they built apartments there because like everywhere in the world, the big tall apartments popped up there. So I don't know how it works now, but it was always cool to see the Cowboys come to town.
How dope would that be if you're at lunch as a kid and Patrick Mahomes comes and sit next to you to eat lunch? Like that's such a cool thing. That's such a cool thing.
Nowadays that cafeteria is closed to the kids while there's NFL players in there probably.
True.
But yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be great PR for the Dallas Cowboys to at lunch go eat lunch with a bunch of kids. Dude, that would be unbelievable.
I remember in high school, one of my best friends worked at like my senior year. One of my best friends worked at Bank of America, like the closest one next to where they practice. And this is like I guess before direct deposits. Because he was like, dude, Keyshawn Johnson just came in. You should see the size of his check. Yeah, they come in every Friday.
That's great. All right, so I want to talk about how training camps are open, and just give me 1 minute before I do. I want to talk about my man, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. 858-376-1299 is his phone number, 858-376-1299. I got an alert on my phone today from, I don't remember what news service it was, and they said that the average home price in San Diego County has gone up 28% in the last 12 months. 28%. That is insane. If you bought a house for $1 million a year ago, you've made $280,000 on that house in 1 year. It's insanity what has gone on in the real estate market in this town. And it's not just San Diego County, it's really all of Southern California. But the point is, and by the way, it's not just only Southern California. It's a lot of other parts of the country. I mean, I hear now like Boise, Idaho is completely blown up, kind of the way we were talking about Austin, Texas a year ago. So when you're trying to navigate the world of real estate, whether you're trying to buy, sell, perhaps you're contemplating refinancing and getting yourself into a better loan situation, or if you're just planning on positioning yourself so that you can strike when you find the right place like Alex and Mara are doing, listen, talk to a professional. This is a crazy time in the real estate markets, and you need a pro's pro to help you get through it. 858-376-1299. My man, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. And as Alex can tell you better than me, because I've only refinanced through Gary a couple different times. But Alex, it's not just Gary. There's an entire team of realtors and professionals. You know, Gary's kind of the face guy, and it's been his company for all these years. But he got a whole team of people that you're working with. Is that right?
That's true. Yep. We are working with a guy named Dave, who's been great. And yeah, it's an entire team, not just one person.
Yeah. Right. Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, 858-376-1299. Okay. We were talking about training camps. So yesterday, the Cowboys show up in Oxnard, and Jerry Jones has a press conference. And at some point, somebody's asking him about he and Jimmy Johnson and their history. And Jerry gets all choked up, you know, because if you don't know the history, these guys like played college football together at Arkansas. And I want to say that Barry Switzer, who eventually coached the Cowboys and won a Super Bowl after Jimmy Johnson, he may have been one of their coaches back in the day. And it was interesting to hear Jerry Jones yesterday talk about how desperately he wants a Super Bowl. And hey, he got 3 of them already. But remember, Jerry Jones' 3 Super Bowl championships are not long after he buys the team, fires way back when, history lesson for young guys, fires Tom Landry, who was a historical Dallas Cowboy coaching figure, because it was different back then. Suit, tie, hat. I mean, it was a totally different deal and time and look. And Tom Landry was a superstar and fired him, brought in Jimmy Johnson. And as Jimmy Johnson rebuilt the Cowboys, mostly through the Herschel Walker trade, Alex,
Yep. We don't need to get into
don't need to bring the Vikings into this.
Nope.
But the point is that Jerry had so much success early. You hear about players, guys, that, think, hey, I've made it to the championship, so I'm going to be here more. I'm going to be here every year. It took Chris Paul 16 years to get to an NBA Finals. He still couldn't get it done, and who knows if he'll ever get back. So Jerry Jones had all the success as the owner of the Cowboys early, 3 Super Bowls early, and has never gotten back since, and hasn't really even sniffed the Super Bowl since. Alex, can you play for everybody? Radio listeners, you'll hear the audio. TV viewers and YouTubers, you'll see the video. This is Jerry Jones yesterday at Cowboys training camp.
I go back to what Barry Switzer said. Barry Switzer came in the office, and Jimmy had just left. And so Barry came down from Norman, Oklahoma to talk about getting the job. And he comes in and he said, "Where's Jimmy?" Now, Barry had coached us both. He said, "Where's Jimmy?" And I said, "Jimmy's gone." He said, "Well, that's not right. Get him in here." I said, "Where's Jimmy?" I said, "Barry, Jimmy's gone. We're sitting here talking about you being the coach." I said, "What in the world are you so anxious to talk to Jimmy about?" He said, "I just wanted to get both you little on this couch and ask you both, how could you this up?" That was Switzer. I don't know what.
Did you think about how you could do that now? I mean,
well, I just think of those great times. And Jimmy's great coach, and ridiculous that my role here was my job to keep it together. It was my job. It should have deference, should have had deference to something that was working good. So those are the things that come to my mind. We had a great run of it. He's a great coach, and I'm proud to have him as a friend and proud to have had the times that we had. We just had a great experience.
Can you answer Switzer's question now?
What?
Do you think you could answer Barry's question now?
I've never been able to know why I fucked it up. That.
Yeah, he swears a couple times. I effed it up. Switzer comes in and says, "I want to put you 2 a-holes together and figure this thing out." You guys know I have a very strong affection for Jerry Jones, the character. I don't think he's ever going to die, by the way. I mean, seriously.
That's funny because I was sitting here watching that going, the person getting that emotional, going back on those memories, he knows he's near the end, whether it be his faculties or his health. Like he knows. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's another clip where he starts crying about how there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than with my Cowboys this year.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a man that's entering his swan song.
Mm-hmm.
Like this sounds like the last year he's going to be in charge.
Listen, I don't know how old he is exactly, but you could probably Google that real quick and find out. But I mean, Jerry Jones, I've told you guys these stories. I go to these Thanksgiving games every year and do these broadcasts for Westwood One, and if I didn't have pictures to tell these stories, no one would ever believe me that Jerry Jones, when I see him, he's just one of these guys that will take the time to talk to you. Now, he won't give you an hour, but he'll give you a legit 5 minutes, look you in the eye, get real close to the point where I could smell. You ever been around old guys and their breath smells so bad because they're probably on a million different medications? Like I would sit there trying not to breathe because the breath stinks, and we're super
got wooden
close.
teeth.
I don't know what it is, but I love the guy. And I know he's a controversial figure and not everybody loves him. And then once you say you like him, people start bringing in politics and knees and kneeling and just all that. I'm just telling you that he has treated me with a lot of respect and given me a lot of time. especially when the Chargers and Rams were talking about moving, So I like him. I like the character that he is. But yeah, man, it probably is getting to the end. It probably is coming to a time.
He's going to be 79 in October.
79, huh?
To be an active general manager, and owner, that's a busy
owner. Yeah, it's time for. I think he knows the general manager portion of this job is pretty much over. Like you have to have somebody who is firing on all cylinders, so his team can be the best that they can be. I think the last deal he probably will have made of significance will be the Dak Prescott contract, and I feel bad for him because that's not going to work out.
Yeah, right. Well, that's just it, right? He had to put all this money into Dak Prescott, and Dak won, and Jerry lost. Let's face it.
Right.
And if the Cowboys don't win this year and don't sniff a championship, and really if they don't win a Super Bowl, it will just be considered a failure because it could be his last year. So
win a playoff game.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'll tell you this, man. Training camp's here now. That's kind of the exciting part. Yes, it's still baseball season, and yeah, the Padres are still live. But it is now football season. Hey, coming up, Craig Dado from Del Mar. Del Mar reopens tomorrow. He's going to fill us in on all the details next.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Southern California radio is a special game, a unique game from the sandy beaches of the Baja and all the way to Santa Barbara. My voice sounds pretty cool. The all-new and mightier 1090.
Live soccer is back. Watch Orange County Soccer Club, OC's highest level of professional soccer, live on your view. Watch Orange County SC take on Sacramento Republic FC Saturday, July 24th at 7. Watch world-class players and future stars. Transform your summer with the new family game night and outdoor fun all season long. Live soccer is back. Orange County versus the Sacramento Republic, Saturday, July 24th at 7 on your view.
Welcome to the Jacobs & Cushman San Diego Food Bank and our 90,000 square foot facility. We feed 350,000 people every single month. Many people ask, how can I help? You can volunteer for the San Diego Food Bank. Just go to sandiegofoodbank.org, register to volunteer. No group is too small, no group is too large, but those volunteers are integral to our success in feeding the community. Another way you can help is by hosting a food drive. Just go online and register your group, your company, or your organization. It's that easy. Another great way is through our virtual food drive, where you can literally buy food on our behalf. Lastly, another great way to make an impact is to go online and make a financial contribution to the San Diego or North County Food Bank. On behalf of the San Diego Food Bank, our staff, our volunteers, and the 350,000 people we serve every month, thank you for helping us fight hunger and feed hope in San Diego County.
Time now for Kaplan and Crew tonight's Community Connect.
Shelter to Soldiers selects dogs from shelters and rescue groups all throughout California. Our ideal candidate at Shelter to Soldier is 8 months to a year and a half old. They're confident in different environments. They have strong social drive. Another motivator like food or toy drive. And ultimately, these are dogs that want to have a job and that have a greater purpose to become a service dog. Currently, about 85% of our dogs pass their service dog training. But if they don't pass, they become a career change. We don't like to use the word failure around here. So career change to an emotional support animal, or if that doesn't work out, then they career change to a pet dog. Still finding a loving placement and purpose in life.
We are in the hope business. What we do every day And what we've done for 40 years is to provide kids and families going through critical illnesses hope that tomorrow's going to be a better day. My favorite wish is the next one, because that is the power of our organization, is to bring hope to kids who are going through something right now, and hope can't wait. So people can get involved now by donating resources. They can donate in kind. They can donate their time as volunteers. They can donate dollars, because kids are still getting diagnosed with illnesses that qualify for Make-A-Wish every day. So people can visit us online at sandiego.wish.org. They can visit us and follow us on social media. There are so many ways to get connected, and people can help in many, many different ways. We need your support now more than ever, because illness doesn't take a vacation, and it doesn't take a break because of COVID-19.
Our massive signal covers an area where over 24 million people reside. So if you're listening or advertising on another station, we have only one question. Why? The new generation of radio, the all-new and mightier 1090.
Sometimes they say it might work, it might not work. And so I ask myself the question, like, why even get the vaccine if it can also harm you? For me, it's like taking a 50-50 chance.
Hi, Andrea. Some say that the vaccine is harmful or that it might not work, but that's not true. Millions of people have been vaccinated with no ill effects, and I can tell you that getting the vaccine is far safer than not getting it.
Moore's Cancer Center is the only comprehensive cancer center in San Diego, which has NCI designation, which NCI stands for National Cancer Institute. And this is designated to only the highest possible ratings for cancer centers in the country. And that means that it's experts in every medical subspecialty pushing boundaries for difficult to treat cancers. We have a unique blend of cancer research and patient care, which really helps us take care of the whole patient from bench to bedside interventions with the latest research, and we're really pushing the boundaries to treat each individual cancer as much as possible. We're very proud of our leadership here in the community at UCSD.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
The San Diego Padres road trip continues today in Miami against the Marlins. The Padres won the first game of yesterday's doubleheader against the Braves 3-2, but the second game was suspended in the 5th inning. The Padres were up 5-4. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his National League leading 29th home run of the season, snapping a season-high period of 32 homerless at-bats. Jurickson Profar had a strong showing in yesterday's first game. He's had some off days at the plate this season, but has made quite a few improvements in the month of July, making him a go-to guy for manager Jace Tingler. The MLB trade line is next week on July 30th. Word is that the Padres are indeed still looking at some starting pitching to help give them a needed boost in the last 2 months of the season. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
He's gonna heave it downfield. Classic Game Time. The best games from the past season on Your View.
It's like the spirit of Greenwood is all over the place in Tulsa, North Tulsa specifically. It's like it's not just one location anymore.
This is the beginning. This is a launching pad. This is not something that we just did to come together just for this moment.
The Spirit of Greenwood is brought to you by Multicultural Health Foundation. The vaccine can protect us. Will you? Verify and trust.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Friends, we welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino Studios, along with Grande and the Brown Man. It's the Kaplan and Crew show, and I am pretty happy to bring back onto the show because we were out at his place last week, but this time he's in his office. We're all in our respective offices. Craig Dado is the Chief Marketing Officer at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, and I wanted to catch up with Craig about how things went on the opening weekend, and I also really wanted to prepare everybody who's listening to how the track is working this summer, what days they're open, when they open, and all kinds of stuff that you probably need to know as we get ready for the second weekend at Del Mar. And here he is, Grande, Brown Man. Here's Craig Dado back on Kaplan and Crew. Hey, Craig.
What's happening, guys?
What's going on today, man?
Today is a Thursday where we would usually be running, but we're not today. The schedule called for us being dark on this Thursday. We'll open again tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we will run Thursdays the rest of the season.
Okay, that was one of the biggest things I really wanted to get out there for everybody, because I think that people assume that you're just open all the time. And the schedule has changed a little bit. And and that was like one of the most important things I thought we should really start with, is that the track opens tomorrow for the weekend, but then the following week, a week from today, you guys will start running Thursday through Sunday. Is that right?
Thursday through Sunday, the rest of the meet. And the only change to that is closing days on Labor Day Monday. That's it.
All right. All right. Very good. How did opening weekend go? Because we talked on opening day, Craig, about the difference this year versus, years past, where, a normal opening day, we're talking about attendance records in the 40,000 plus range. And because of COVID and the after effects, we had a much smaller crowd on opening day. But I said this in a lot of places, especially on social media and here on the radio show. Dude, it was one of my favorite opening days. Even though we had 3 horses run and we never had a chance to win any of those races, and even though the crowds were smaller, it was one of my favorite opening days. How did things go?
Things went well. So we had, as we claimed we would, we capped it right around 16,000. It felt pretty crowded though, right? Didn't you think?
I thought so. As a matter of fact, Browner made a really great point, which is from where he was, which was right there in your office, he didn't even notice the difference between 45,000 and 16,000. And the reason is because in between races, if you look down at the paddock and you were watching the horses walk before they would go out to the track, let's just say there are 3,000 people surrounding the paddock area. Well, it didn't matter if there were 45,000 people there or there were 16,000 people there. It was the same 3,000 crowded into that space. So it looked and felt like there was a huge crowd that day.
Yeah, it really did. Let me give you some numbers that are going to blow you away. Now, these numbers are not the on-track numbers. These are the total betting numbers throughout the world. The opening day prior year, we had handled just about $15 million. The all-time record for handle on opening day was $16.5 million. And on opening day last week, we handled $21.2 million. So
wow.
We scattered the record by over 25%. Isn't that crazy? So why?
Wow.
That's a good question. So what you're saying, for anybody who doesn't speak the gambling lingo, handled means dollars wagered, So you're saying that, did you say last year was 15 million?
Yeah.
And the all-time record was 16 and a half.
We went to 21.2.
Okay. Why would that be, guys? I mean, how could a smaller
wow.
Well, because first of all, let me tell you this, only about 15% of the money is bet on track, Scott. 85% of it is bet all over the world. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, people wanted to bet on Del Mar. Now, one thing I can tell you for sure is we had 10.8 horses per race. That's a lot. And there's a clear correlation between number of horses in a race and how much people bet. Just the odds are bigger and it's just a better betting situation. So that explains some of it, but not a 25% increase. That's crazy.
I think a lot of people want it as the world opens up, because we're not the only country that's opening up. Like, as the world begins to open back up, I think people want to participate in something that's really routine for them. And I think around the world, a lot of people enjoy horse racing. Now, if you can be there, great. If you can't be there, you guys have created ways for people to still be a part of it. And like I said, being there felt no different. It really felt no different at all. And so I could see why people would get a little more into it, because now you can see people there, you can hear the cheering, and like you said, there's more horses. So I'm shocked by that. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
I just kind of look at it as so when there was absolutely zero sports across the world last year, there was still horse racing kind of everywhere. It was one of the sports that kind of kept going. Like golf was able to kind of do it here and there. There wasn't too much stuff going. I wonder how many new fans of the sport you guys acquired when there was nothing else happening except horse racing.
That's a good question.
That's good point. Although I would say the new fans tend to not bet as much as the grizzled veterans.
Yeah, but it's also, think about how much legalized gambling has been adopted in just the last 12 months across this country, particularly. Just like sports books are open in more places than there was a year ago. So I think there's probably a lot of contributing factors to it. That's awesome, though.
Yeah. So I have some other news for you. So we were limited opening weekend. Everything had to be purchased in advance. You couldn't walk up and buy. We are cutting all that out. We are back to normal now. You can walk up to the gate and buy a general admission ticket starting this Friday. So
wow,
come on out, people.
Yeah, that's also an interesting development because, again, last week, opening day, so many people were like, I want to go to opening day. And I kept trying to explain to people, it's different now. You have to buy a ticket and they can only sell ticketed seats. And there wasn't the general admission walk up that anybody could buy, what I would call the cheaper ticket. You're saying that as of this Friday, everything is practically back to normal.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
No more 16,000 capacity?
No. We're going to I don't think, to be honest with you, without a concert or a big festival or anything, I don't think we're going to get much over 16 anyway. But really, we say we're going to limit it, but how far would we go? I don't know. I don't know that it's relevant. I think the most we'd probably get this weekend would be 14 or 15,000, which would be great.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever think about adding more stands?
Seats, you mean?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
So we did add some picnic tables that we sold for opening day, but to add stands is a great expense. And we were always hopeful that we would revert back to the old way soon. So we just didn't think it was worth the expense.
Gotcha. We're talking to Craig Dado. He's in his office at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. And everybody who's a great friend knows Craig for the many, many years. It's been 15 years now that he's been making appearances on the show. Okay, so you say everything's going back to normal now and people can just walk up and buy tickets. They don't have to reserve seats in advance and all that. But Craig, the appeal of Del Mar is not just horse racing. It's the beautiful people. It's the Del Margaritas. It is the concerts and the festivals. At what point, and maybe it's not this summer, maybe it's next summer, but at what point can you guys get back to normal where on a Friday night you can actually have a concert and bring, not everybody goes to the races all day on Friday and then moves over to the concert. As well as anybody, obviously, that most people, they're younger people and they show up at 5, 6 o'clock and then they pull into the concert. So when will we get back to that in your estimation, or at least what you're hearing?
We haven't booked anything yet. I'm still optimistic. Maybe we can pull off a show or two late in August. We're actually going to talk about it a little bit today. So I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed, optimistic. If things keep going here, we're going to reach out to our friends at the Belly Up and get a couple shows booked.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So if you're hopeful that you can get acts to play shows this summer, how hard is it to book acts? Because as venues are opening and bands are being booked up, I wonder who is available and how quickly can things like that come together?
That's why we don't book them ourselves. We leave it to the pros, and we've had a great relationship with the guys at Belly Up, with Steve and Phil, and they've been booking our shows for years now. So they're the pros. We'll reach out to them and say, what do you got available? Last couple of weeks of August.
Let me tell you something, man. And I wonder if you've underestimated this or you've even thought about this. But I'll tell you this right now, and Browner and Alex, tell me what you guys think. The first show you guys put on, I don't care who it is. Dude, people so badly want to go back to concerts and people love live music and love shows. And I would tell you that the first show you guys decide to put on a Friday night, it's going to be packed. And I'm talking like more than 16,000 on opening day. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, Craig, or if you guys are thinking about that and planning about that. But the desire for the general public to want live music and to want it at an outdoor venue like Del Mar, I think you guys would have a monster show. And I'm telling you, I don't care who it is playing.
And how packed do I want it? Right? In past years, pre-COVID, it was like, bring them. Let's pack them in. Maybe that's why we don't book the Dave Matthews Band, Browner. Maybe that's why I don't do that.
I could understand. They might bring a couple more people than you are comfortable with. That would create a parking fiasco too, by the way.
I agree with Scott, though. I think if you get like whoever it is, whether it's like Whalers, Pepper, or whoever.
Who's Pepper? Like salt and pepper?
Like a reggae band.
No, not salt and pepper. No, Pepper is a reggae band.
You get salt and pepper in there, you going to have some people too.
I don't know, but Craig, usually Pepper, as an example, and Alex finished the point in a second, but like Pepper, a reggae band, they usually crush at Del Mar, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They've been great. By the way, Browner, it's Pepper, not Peppa.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Oh, my bad.
Enunciate.
My bad.
Different band.
I don't know, dude. I just keep getting emails and alerts and tweets from like music venues, and every time I see one, I'm like, yeah, I'm down to go. And I don't really like the band. I'm like, yeah, I'm just down to go. Like I have seen Pepper about 3 times in my life, and if you have them, I'm down to go. I have not been to a concert yet since everything's opening up, and I would make Del Mar my first one.
All right, outdoors.
So I think your concern of how many people do I actually want, I think is a valid concern, because I think people are just down to do stuff right now.
Yep. So we'll see. Stand by. Now, I'll tell you one thing. We did plan a wine fest on the 14th of August. That's going to be fun. That's going to be our first dipping our toe into the festival and event world again. So that'll go well. But that's only like 1,000 people.
Now, is that something that would people eventually move back into the infield of the track, or?
No, we do it kind of on the west side, kind of where the cabana typically is. That's where the wine event will be. We'll have some shade structures over there. And that's a great crowd, by the way. It's a high-end, good-looking crowd. Come to drink their wine during the day. But again, we cap that at about 1,000 or 1,500. So it's,
So I have an idea.
I've been to one of those.
So I have an idea, Craig, and this is not a high-end or good-looking crowd. This would be a Kaplan and Crew crowd.
Low end, not
good looking. This is the one-year anniversary of the Mightier 1090s coming up, and as you know, I think we also have a Kaplan and Crew decathlon being topped off by a boxing match between Kaplan and John Browner. Now, we played basketball at the Del Mar Fairgrounds before. What do you think about having the main event of Kaplan versus Browner at the Del Mar Fairgrounds?
What's the date?
Open-ended.
Well,
it's open-ended.
Right. Like, so the official date of the return of 1090, the official like 1 year anniversary date is August 17th. I'd have to look on my calendar to see what day of the week that is. But I actually like where Grande's going, which is maybe you guys have a wine festival on August 14th. Do you guys have any ideas, Craig, this summer for a beer festival, like a craft beer festival also?
Nothing yet, but that's something else we would consider, because that's something I could control to, 1,000 or a couple thousand. So that would be something we think about.
See, now, because we do this Beer Friday thing, and we've got all these beer companies that every Friday bring in beer and we test them and try them and everything else. I mean, a beer festival with a boxing match as the main event, we could be onto something big here, guys.
I like it. What do you need as far as a ring?
Well, you know what,
true.
Craig, but no, hold on. Craig already has this in his bag of tricks. Craig, how many years ago was it when we promoted the jockey fights?
The battle off the saddle. Right. Which was Elvis Trujillo against Corey Nakatani. Remember that with champ Paul?
I remember that too.
That was great.
Yeah, we had Paul Vaden coaching up
Elvis Trujillo.
Right. And Craig and I are in the dressing rooms before the fight, and we're like trying to see what's going to happen. And as I recall, Corey Nakatani at the time had kind of a reputation in the jockey locker room as being kind of the toughest badass sort of guy, because these jockeys get into fights all the time. You know, they're battling out on the track, then they hit the locker room. They're all sitting there watching the race together. Hey, you did this. You did this. Why'd you do this? You cost me money. And the next thing you know, these guys are kicking each other's asses. But Elvis Trujillo, as I recall that night, beat the living hell out of Corey Nakatani. Do I have that memory correct?
Dude, so Corey definitely was the better athlete, the tougher guy. But remember, we talked to Paul Vaden, who'd been working with Elvis, training with him, and he said, you know what? Elvis is a boxer. He said Elvis is going to win this fight. So I bet $20 with as many people as I could that night. Everybody wanted Corey. And in the first round, Corey came out very aggressively and almost knocked Elvis out. But then he got tired, and Elvis went back to boxing that he'd learned from Paul, and he won the fight. He knocked Corey out in the third round.
So the point I'm trying to make is that you've already done this before. You know, you've booked the fight. You probably had the California State Boxing Commission involved at some point, you know, because you have to have it properly sanctioned. You built the ring. We've done this before. So if we want to have a craft beer festival highlighted by a heavyweight match between me and the Brown Man, where I'm a significant underdog, by the way, huge underdog. I'm 30-1 right now. What, Browner? You disagree? I mean, you're 6'7" tall. You're significantly younger. You got me in reach. I mean, I may outweigh you a little bit.
Yeah.
No?
A lot of bit, big fella. A lot of bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
A lot of bit, big fella.
I mean,
people have been hitting me up like a lot about like, hey, there's no reason to wait anymore. Like, when is this decathlon / fight happening? So
yeah,
I really got to start doing some stuff, putting some things in motion here.
So I would say this: if we're going to build a ring, we need more than just one fight. Are there any other grudge matches around town that can be settled in the ring that day?
Yeah, we could find some. I mean, there's definitely some people that would like to get into the ring and do some damage. I'd actually like to see Burt Grossman in the ring. I don't know against who yet, but you know, all of Burt's street fighting stories, I'd love to see Burt get in the ring and see what he's got going. What do you think, Browner?
Maybe Burt against Dan Cilio?
Oh. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So how many fights would you want to book, Craig?
You know, these fights aren't very long, as you remember that night. I mean, if we had 3 or 4 fights, let's talk to Bill Hagan. Let's make this a big 1090 production.
Oh, Bill Hagan. Let me tell you what's going to happen with Bill Hagan. Bill Hagan's going to start, you know, coming up with other ideas like this. Hey, by the way, can my band play that night? he got a rock band. He's going to want to play.
How about a beer fest / rock band / car show / boxing event?
Wait, what was the second to last thing?
Car show.
Car show. Yeah, well, we've done a little bit of that. We're like muscle cars, or what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Low riders.
Golf carts.
That.
Hey, I'll tell you now, that's a great idea.
You're gonna
riders.
You're definitely going to have a music element. I don't know whether it's Hagen's band or what's they called? Yacht Rock, Band Overboard.
Yeah, Band Overboard. They'd crush.
Linda Welby's husband's band.
Yeah. You know that they're playing, they're playing Friday night at Tio Leo's down by USD. And last time they played there, we blew the place out. And they're they're actually talking about like a bigger crowd this time. So Friday night, Tio Leo's down by USD, and Band Overboard is playing.
I think the 4 of us and Hagan could put our thinking hats on. Something could happen towards the end of this. Let's
get on it. Let's get on it.
It's a great idea. I mean, that Del Mar is the place for the 1090 anniversary party. That's a brilliant idea, Alex. Hey, we're talking to Craig Dado. He's the chief marketing officer at the Del Mar racetrack. Remember, guys, Del Mar is closed today on Thursday, reopens tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next week, Del Mar is open on Thursday through Sunday for the rest of the summer. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, Craig, before you go, I see that you're wearing a Breeders' Cup golf shirt today. Very sharp looking.
Thank
you. Very nice. Talk to us about the Breeders' Cup a little bit, because last Friday when we were there, we interviewed the CEO of the Breeders' Cup, and that day tickets were going on sale. I ran into a friend of mine on Sunday who's a huge horse racing fan, and she told me that she went onto the Breeders' Cup website to buy tickets on Friday. Boom, they were history. So is it like completely sold out? Do you know this yet?
So we have not put the general admission tickets on sale yet, the walk-around tickets. I don't know when those go, but those will be available at some point, so it's not totally sold out. I didn't realize all the seats were gone. Is that really the case?
Yeah, she told me that she had tried to buy tickets last Friday and she got shut out. And so I kind of said to her, like, well, you know, I think that there's another opportunity. Yeah. I said, so don't give up. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I did not hear that it's sold out, so I'm kind of not buying it. So still go to the Breeders' Cup website to buy tickets. I still think they're available. You'd think I would know if it was sold out, right? I haven't heard that.
Right. I would have thought so as well. I don't know why she told me she had such a hard time. And it wasn't like it was a tech problem. It was just, she said, hey, I couldn't get tickets. I'm like, okay, I'm surprised to hear that. So I would encourage everybody to go to breederscup.com/tickets if you want to get in on the Breeders' Cup, which is coming back to Del Mar for the second time. And hopefully, is on a rotation now like the Super Bowl used to be on. Hey, Craig, before you go, I'm curious. You mentioned that the average field in a race now at Del Mar is nearly 11 horses per race, right?
Just on opening day.
Okay.
If we can end up the year 8.5, close to 9, we would be thrilled.
Okay. So I'm just curious your opinion here. How much harder is it to handicap when you have these big fields? It used to be that there were more racing days and there were fewer horses. So there might be 6 horses in a race or 5 horses in a race. A big field would be, 7 or 8, let's say. But now these horses, these races are all kind of filled up. And I think I see a pattern, which is I think a lot of long shots are hitting the board. What do you say?
Well, obviously, the more horses are in a race, the harder it is to pick them, and the odds of all the horses are going to go up. That's just math. So yeah, it's hard. I gambled a little bit last weekend, and I sucked. It's hard. So hopefully it'll get better this week. But yeah, the more horses, the harder it is, but the payoffs are bigger too. So when you do hit, you'll get rewarded.
Craig Dado stopping by, everybody. And again, racing starts tomorrow at Del Mar. And don't forget about breederscup.com/tickets because, I'm telling you, I had one person tell me she couldn't get them, but Craig says he would know.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Catch Kaplan and Crew Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. If you've listened to Scott Kaplan the last 20 years, you know one thing. He likes to stir up some shit. A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
With live theater on hold and performers and crew out of work, the folks at Subaru of El Cajon had a great idea.
Why not help all the artists and artisans in San Diego put a musical on?
And so Sharing the Love was born. This musical collaboration between Subaru of El Cajon and the performing arts community celebrates positivity in the face of strife.
Love is for sharing, hate is despairing. There is no comparing the two.
Watch Sharing the Love, Saturday and Sunday, only on Your View.
Welcome to the Jacobs & Cushman San Diego Food Bank and our 90,000 square foot facility. We feed 350,000 people every single month. Many people ask, how can I help? You can volunteer for the San Diego Food Bank. Just go to san-diegofoodbank.org, register to volunteer. No group is too small, no group is too large, but those volunteers are integral to our success in feeding the community. Another way you can help is by hosting a food drive. Just go online and register your group, your company, or organization. It's that easy. Another great way is through our virtual food drive, where you can literally buy food on our behalf. Lastly, another great way to make an impact is to go online and make a financial contribution to the San Diego or North County Food Bank. On behalf of the San Diego Food Bank, our staff, our volunteers, and the 350,000 people we serve every month, thank you for helping us fight hunger and feed hope in San Diego County.
Kaplan and Crew tonight presents Sports in a Minute.
The month of July is winding down, which means we are inching that much closer to football season. The 2021 preseason All-Mountain West team was announced on Thursday morning, and 3 San Diego State players have been recognized. Senior left tackle Zachary Thomas and his brother, junior defensive lineman Cameron Thomas, both who graduated from Carlsbad High School, were named to the team, along with senior linebacker Caden McDonald. Zachary earned second-team All-Mountain West honors in 2020, allowing only 2 sacks on 220 passing plays. Cameron earned his first-team All-Mountain West honors for the second straight year in 2020 with 35 tackles, 21 solo in 8 starts. McDonald was first-team All-Mountain West last season as well, with 4.5 sacks, 10 quarterback hurries, and 34 total tackles. This is the 7th straight year that the Aztecs have had at least 3 players on the preseason team. I'm Haley Stasiak. That's your sports in a minute. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Rich Eisen here, inviting you to catch my show, The Rich Eisen Show, on our flagship radio station, the Mightier 1090. We're on every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time. You'll like what you hear. If not, that's just, I guess, too bad.
A new generation of radio. The all-new and Mightier 1090.
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez on Su Vida. Enjoy the food, discover new artists, and fun things to do.
Watch Su Vida, Sunday night at 7 on Your View. Brought to you by Harrah's Resort, Southern California. It's more than a place, it's a state of mind.
Love promise moments are part of the mission of what we do here at Subaru El Cajon. A love promise moment is when we as human beings deliver an experience beyond exceptional to any one of our guests, and then that guest's life is positively affected by that interaction. It's amazing to watch what happens when 2 human beings talk on that level and create something magical. And sometimes they drive away with a car, sometimes they don't, but we've had an impact on that person's life, and that's the magic. You know, our employees react to things like Make-A-Wish, Feeding San Diego, and the other groups we help by jumping in.
This year, through COVID, we were able to help a little girl out and got her a rather large scooter that she needed for mobility.
We gave up our Christmas party as employees, and we actually adopted a wish of a young girl here in El Cajon, and we gave her a 3-wheel scooter so she didn't have to use her wheelchair all the time. It gives me goosebumps even thinking about it.
Let's take it up a notch with Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost, powered by the Mightier 1090.
We are in the hope business. What we do every day and what we've done for 40 years is to provide kids and families going through critical illnesses hope that tomorrow's going to be a better day. My favorite wish is the next one, because that is the power of our organization, is to bring hope to kids who are going through something right now, and hope can't wait. So people can get involved now by donating resources. They can donate in kind. They can donate their time as volunteers. They can donate dollars, because kids are still getting diagnosed with illnesses that qualify for Make-A-Wish every day. So people can visit us online at sandiego.wish.org. They can visit us and follow us on social media. There are so many ways to get connected, and people can help in many, many different ways. We need your support now more than ever, because illness doesn't take a vacation, and it doesn't take a break because of COVID-19.
Welcome to the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank and our 90,000 square foot facility. We feed 350,000 people every single month. Many people ask, how can I help? You can volunteer for the San Diego Food Bank. Just go to sandiegofoodbank.org, register to volunteer. No group is too small, no group is too large, but those volunteers are integral to our success in feeding the community. Another way you can help is by hosting a food drive. Just go online and register your group, your company, or organization. It's that easy. Another great way is through our virtual food drive, where you can literally buy food on our behalf. Lastly, another great way to make an impact is to go online and make a financial contribution to the San Diego or North County Food Bank. On behalf of the San Diego Food Bank, our staff, our volunteers, and the 350,000 people we serve every month, thank you for helping us fight hunger and feed hope in San Diego County.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost is powered by the Mightier 1090. Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Shelter to Soldier selects dogs from shelters and rescue groups all throughout California. Our ideal candidate at Shelter to Soldier is 8 months to a year and a half old. They're confident in different environments. They have strong social drive, another motivator like food or toy drive. And ultimately, these are dogs that want to have a job, and that have a greater purpose to become a service dog. Currently, about 85% of our dogs pass their service dog training. But if they don't pass, they become a career change. We don't like to use the word failure around here. So career change to an emotional support animal, or if that doesn't work out, then they career change to a pet dog, still finding a loving placement and purpose in life.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from